What's up, guys? Welcome back to Railway Empire 2, and we are currently on the Industrial Miracle scenario. This is part 2, and if you join me straight from part 1, we have literally just carried on from exactly where we were. We've just linked up Dreisberg to Oberhausen and to Mulheim. So the task here now is to start getting some trains running between these three and getting some more goods moving. Now we are on the PS4 version here, so if it does look a little bit sketchy, then that is a reason why. But it is exactly the same scenario if you're playing on the PS5 version. So we're going to go straight from there to there. And we're just going to get a couple of trains running because we can afford to now. That's something we've not done. It's just made sure our lines are running the right way here. Yeah, we don't need a thingy through there at the minute. We'll sort that out. Good. And then a supply tower running on this line. And we'll do it on this line here to begin with, and then we'll get another one on there. And let's wait for a few more trains to arrive here. More trains, the better. So the first one's taking Coke. So back to the task list. Yes, we need to be purchasing the next district very soon, but we also need to start looking at... oh, we have got gridirons on either side of it. Good. We need to start supplying this station to grow. So we need 8 wood, 4 meat, and 12 beer. Okay, so the first thing will be the beer. Beer's plentiful there. We probably do need to get a station up here very soon, and then probably a cheeky little warehouse down here. And we need 2 trains running between there as well. Get them start running. And we can run a cheeky train from there to there, I think. Let's see what happens. I mean, it might not even need it, but I'd imagine it will. And we'll also then put another siding for that afterwards. For now, that will do just to keep that running. He's decided to connect up to Boltrop up there, which really doesn't benefit us too much, I don't think, if we wanted to expand up there. Let's put that back up to 2 trains now that we've got more cities connected. And we're going to think about this station here. Oh, I know. That's the beauty of it, my good fellow. That is the beauty of it. Now, for now, we're going to stay with just the one line. A, it's cheaper, and B, we're not going to need that much running there, so let's see if we can purchase that. Before it gets a little bit too expensive. 155. We're only going to pay about 120 for this. And that will give us more money as well. And then what we're going to do here is get a warehouse as soon as we can afford one. So 130, there we go, let's get a warehouse. And in that warehouse, let's at least get wood. And then we'll start distributing wood to both of these cities as well from here. Which means we're then making money from that line as well. And the other thing we want to be doing is getting a maintenance station here. Right, so let's start thinking forward about getting this up and running now. And what I also want to do is just take that away like that, because I can't stand that. Probably actually put the maintenance station there and keep this one free, free from everything. Oh, he's now expanded up to the milk up there as well. Very nice. He's doing things. Okay, so we're up to 4 there already, and we now want to start seeing some beer head to there as well. So let's get some beer moving. In a minute, it's only got 1 spare beer, but that will change. That will change, guys. So our next task is this little section here. Out of interest, let's see how much they're worth. They're worth quite a bit. Oh, just about there is about the sweet spot. Right, and we're gonna have to cross his lines somewhere, so we need to be doing that as cheap as sort of possible. And for now, we'll run it into this line. Let's save ourselves some money that's, you know, not necessarily needed to be spent. Okay, so the plan is here. We'll run a few trains. But we'll also try and connect that up again for now into that line. Okay, right. $274, that's not bad. Right, let's see if we can focus on purchasing that wheat farm now, as well, next on our mission. And what we're going to be able to do here is supply both all 3 cities with wheat and all 3 cities with beans and wood, of course. How's this doing? So it's got its 8 wood, it's got its 4 meat, so it just needs its beer now. So we can get rid of that train because that's not going to do anything anymore. And we're going to do a separate train that just does wheat. So we'll do wheat and beans. And then we'll do a new rail line that just does beans. And then we're going to do another one that does from there to there. And it's only wheat. Okay, right. And we want to get that wheat purchased, like, as soon as possible, I think. 298. See if we can make enough money quickly to get that in our inventory. And then we can also probably extend up to the milk like the rest of them have as well. Let's get that purchased quick. And then let's get our maintenance depot there as well. Okay, cool. Right. We're doing okay here, guys. We are doing okay. March 1871. So we've got a year now to be able to purchase this concession. But we've got a nice solid structure here now, guys, with the opportunity to do other things as well, like the milk. and that will sit on line number 4 now at that station. So the other thing we need to be looking out for is this, it growing, because we'd like to be able to get wood there. So that's 542. Wood is an absolute fantastic thing to put there. So let's put a reserve there, so we can put wood there as soon as possible. So do you know what? Let's increase that to 3. Okay, good stuff, guys. I feel like we're in a position here where things are doing pretty well. So our next concession to buy will be that one. And we can obviously put a wood factory there. If we put a wood factory there, we'll start seeing another sort of bit of growth. And that being, like, if we could put wood in the factory here, then we can start sharing the wood. And we'll just run a complete, like, wood train from there to there by itself. How many trains have we got running on that? Essen to Oberhausen, 2 trains. Do we want a 3rd train? Right, let's put a place marker there as well, because we need to be putting steel there. So use your place markers so that no one else can put them under the business, guys. It's 5 out of 12. See if we can see that. So 6, 7, 8. It's slow, but guys, we're getting there now. And we're also almost getting to the concession prices as well. He's not really costing me too much money at the minute, so I'm quite happy to leave him. It's this dude over here that's going to be the issue, I think. His lines will get in my way and really cause a bit of an issue. 868,000 as well, so we're going to have to purchase that, and purchase that sharply. Potatoes. Should we run potatoes in? And that would help with potato movement as well. Right, let's think about the fact that eventually we're probably going to be running a second train station here. So we'll put the station like that. And what we're going to do is we're going to run again as cheaply as sort of possible. Do not want bridges. Do not want bridges, please. We want to be joining up on that line. Do not want tunnels. And we're probably going to put a warehouse over there too. For now, we'll be okay if we just run like that. And then another one that just runs in. Like so. Right, and then a new rail line from there to there. And then let's for now put a warehouse there with spuds. Okay, and that will then distribute spuds elsewhere. So Oberhausen's growing nicely. Everything's growing nicely. We need to really focus on now pushing to buy this next concession. So let's just let the game run up to cost. Okay, I've now got just 1 million. Now the only thing I've done, guys, is I have put a second train that's going from here because this is actually really busy beer company. I've put a second train just to run extra wheat here to Oberhausen. That's all I've done at the current time. So let's now look. It's gone up to 937, but we need to purchase it. And that then opens more jobs. But we've got the Vogel pit is almost done and producing a total of 8 loads of coke via your factories and businesses. Well, let's face it, we're not going to be far off doing that pretty sharpish. We can now connect to Bochum, and that's actually only got a 6-day connection. Wow, so we need to get that sharpish. And we're not gonna get that connection bonus. I can't imagine 6 days. That's really not a lot of time. A, we can't afford to run some track up there, and B, we can't afford a train. So the only other way we can do that is look at maybe returning something or selling a bit of track. And let's face it, it's probably not worth to sell the track. It might be worth to sell a train or two. And then see if we can get within 6 days a train that runs from there to there. And see if we can push for that bonus. That might be a possibility. Is it worth the effort? Probably not, guys. We'll just lose the bonus on that one. But if you can get that done quicker than me, then it's definitely worth it. If we had maybe 20 or 30 days, yeah, that would have been ideal. Dortmund, we also need to be purchasing this here. So that's in fact probably where our best, our money's best spent, buying that. Why that is dirt cheap. Now it is going to lose us money, but it is something that we do need to necessarily do. So let's just check our research while we're waiting. Saboteurs, not too worried about saboteurs. Concrete factory, that's something we need to be focusing on. So let's see if we can get this cheap. Yes, which we can. So yeah, we've lost the bonus to Bochum, but that's, you know, that's just how it is, unfortunately. And we also then need to be looking at purchasing a business here in Mulheim too, very, very soon. So at the minute, money is where we are at. Now, you never know, we might actually get another bonus pop up for Bochum. And we're going to connect via the train lines we started prior. Okay, we've got a nice bonus there. And that's actually the Coke factory, and that only needs one more. Let's just see where that train is. Let's put a second train on it and then delete the first train. And there we go, the last one's on its way, so that's a bonus. Right. Mulheim is now growing. So what we're going to have to do, guys, is then start looking at Mulheim being connected up to Oberhausen. And let's start looking at this route. Again, cheap as possible. We don't want to cross the water. But what we want to be doing is leaving a couple of lines free, so that we are allowing our express trains to come through that we're going to make. 274, that's quite on the expensive track. Let's see if we can get it just. That's about as cheap as we're going to get it. But then we are opening up new lines. And that one's only 79. Now that will give us a little bit more freedom to move in that station. And the reason we're doing this is because we're going to start running some trains between them now as well. It'll give us a little bit more cash. So let's get a couple of trains running from there to there. Oh no. 2 trains, that's what I wanted to run. And what we're going to be doing is put in a steel warehouse, steel business up here, and we're going to put another business down here at Mulheim too, which makes pig iron. We are literally just waiting for that last train to arrive for that target to be achieved as well, and we can then get rid of that train. And at the minute, guys, I think that's kind of all we can kind of do down here. Maybe we could just get milk in the system as well. Okay, so we want to be producing at least 10 loads of coal in Dreisberg via one of our factories, which is something we're already doing, and in Dortmund, which is the other one we purchased up here, that is something else. That's when we're going to start expanding up there very soon. We also now need to deliver 10 loads of iron to Oberhausen, but to do that we need to have a steel factory there. So we need to be having a pig iron factory here. which is ideal because we have all the goods here. And that's 504k. So we're going to start with that. And then as soon as we get the opportunity, we will purchase the steel factory there, which is quite a bit, I think. In fact, we can look at that. Building construction, 504,000 there as well. I feel the next thing we should probably do is oh god. Start seeing trains get a bit clogged up down there. Absolutely burning through that wheat. Actually, for now, we'll leave it as it is. We'll get that running. So what we'll do is we'll get the iron plant, the steel plant running. As soon as we've got the steel plant running, we'll then start focusing on this area and start moving in the right direction. So let's now switch industry to steel. Okay, right. Now the only problem with steel is that it produces a byproduct which no one actually needs until later. So we do struggle quite a bit to make the steel. Which is something you'll find out as we continue this journey on this very exciting scenario. I wonder how much it is to level that up. 317. But that is non-stop production there. That's going to make us more profit, isn't it? Because at the minute now the trains are stationary. With stationary trains we're not making any money. Right, so we're going to now start taking pig iron. Great. So that's now going to start producing steel. Brilliant. Right, so yeah, we're pretty good with that now. We are going to need to increase that as well. That's now making plenty, so we should start seeing that coming down nicely. The question is, do we just quickly extend up to the milk or not? I think we need to start focusing on where we're heading next, which is Bottram. Okay, yeah, that's going to be our next target. So what we need to be seeing here is what's around Bottram. So potentially, I reckon we leave a couple of lines free, A, to connect up to Herne and Goods, and then a second line that will. So we're going to keep it playing just slowly for now. Let's. Okay, right. So from there we then go nicely up to our next city, and we're going to do 2 lines free at the top. $125 for the next line. I'm in a better position now, I think, to do a second train. Right, we don't want to be putting 4 lines through there. And this is now going to connect up to the east. And we can initially start. I just want to check how meat is doing here. Yeah, meat's fine there. So, new rail line then between Essen and Bottram. Let's put it 3 trains. Thinking it might be worth to actually put the 4 lines there, but then our train that runs we want to edit that so it's running on that line only. Yeah, so we're keeping this one for goods in, and that one then just heads up to Essen. Okay, so we're now done the steel. Right, so Bochum. Let's see how we want to progress here with Bochum. Now, Bochum is meat. We need to think about how we're going to progress. So we've got Herne up here with meat as well, which we don't really necessarily need another meat factory. But that could connect up to their realistically. Right, okay, so what have we got down here? Chemicals. So to make chemicals we need we need that byproduct, so that's actually not bad. Dortmund has got coal, so we need a coking factory around here somewhere to help out as well. That could be Bochum. Now the other thing we need to start thinking about is, do we start getting these sort of trains from these stations running up to Bochum now and make that a warehouse, and start distributing to Herne, to Dortmund, and Witten, and then further afield down to Hattingen. You're correct, it is. What I'm really hoping to see is that it decides to give me some sort of bonus for something around here. It won't give me one for the spuds because the spuds are already connected. We are starting to see, guys, we are starting to see a good bit of money rolling in. And the tasks are starting to slowly get completed. It's the April 1873 one now that is the next one. And with that one being complete, it then starts to look at where we move forward from there. So April 1873, that gives us 2 and a bit years to do the coal in Dortmund, which is fine, which is what we're going to start working towards now. Produce 3 loads of steel via your factories and businesses. Again, something we're going to start looking at. And then you need to do explosives. And again, that's where we need to start thinking about what we... So to do explosives, we need chemicals. And chemicals are already down here in Witten, so that's probably where we'll look at doing our explosives factory as well. It's just a very... We're going to have to do a very structured way of doing this, because we also need to have copper wire, which is over here at Schwertz already as well. So that's something else we're going to need sulfur, which is a byproduct of the copper wire, which obviously you can see there. So to make explosives, we're going to need copper wire, and yeah, we're going to have to slowly work this out, bit by bit, guys, and get each of these cities growing into a place where we can see a benefit. Now, what we're going to do here is put that one there. So we're going to connect that up via that. I wonder how much it is to purchase that. 290. Okay, let's see if we can get 290 to purchase that, because we've then got 2 cities that are going to both be supplied with meat. He's progressing quite fast as well by the looks of it. Where's he just gone to? Oh, can't see. Ah! Yes, he's just put... Yeah, let's purchase that before we start running any trains. And then, guys, we go and start running trains from it. And then all of a sudden, we've got 2 cities that need meat, 2 cities that are going to be supplied with a few more trains running, guys. And then let's do Herne to Bochum. And there we go. All of a sudden, we've got loads more trains running. And we're going to start seeing some movement now. So one of the others is get 115,000 citizens in Essen. Well, we're not going to be far off that, I don't think. It is growing nicely. There is things, obviously, we do need, and that's why we're going to start looking at putting a wood factory up there, because then we'll need wood. And we'll put that in the warehouse down here, so that can then distribute wood elsewhere, and we'll run a separate train just doing that. But then also we're going to start looking at express trains and freight trains on that line as well to really make a bit of a boost to us. What we do need to see is that, of course, 12 loads of coals in Dortmund, and we're not going to do that until we've got over there as well, and we've only just got... Oh, we've got a couple of years still to do that, so that's not too bad. Okay, and what we're going to do here, Bochum, is we're going to look at where it's going as well. So we're going to start nicely with that line there. So that will run trains down there on that line. Ooh, and we can just run 6 lines there too. Okay, right. Supply towers on there. There. And there. We're going to put a maintenance depot there. And we're going to put a maintenance depot there, guys. So I do want to start looking at that wood. Let's see. Switch industry. Wood is 542. That's a hell of a lot of money. But it's going to benefit us if we can start getting some extra trains running from here. Because we can start increasing that. And we just kind of move that line down a bit further and run another train through, and I'll show you what I mean with that in a minute, because we've got a couple of standard trains running through there. Could probably look at increasing that to 3. 308,000 to level it. Wow. Okay, so 3 trains might not be beneficial at the minute. Right, explosives. And then we're going to start progressing further towards Dortmund, I think now, guys, as well. Let's get that reserve lot changed to wood. And then what we're going to do is put that and that in that warehouse. So what that's going to allow us to do, and we need to start thinking about a bit of a train here now, guys. So we're going to take that line away there. Just pause it for a second. Take that away there first. Right, what we're going to do here is run another line that goes round to there. Like that. So we've got that double lined. And then we follow that. We take that onto that line like that. And then we're going to run another line through the station. Like so. And then that just rejoins back on that line like that. Okay, so that allows that to run, and then we've got our two running from there to that, and then we're going to then run a new line that goes from here like that. Okay, so now we're going to run a new train that runs from there to there, and we want that to sit on line number, yep, and that's going to be 2 trains as well. And then we're going to start just pumping the cost. We're going to start leveling this because we're going to need to. If we want to start seeing an increase. And we'll probably level it one more time. So 412. Let's get 412. That should happen pretty swiftly. And then I'm thinking also we then put a cheeky little line that goes between there and there, and run wood from that too. There we go. So we're now leveled up nicely on the wood. We're going to start seeing a good return on that. The more trains run, of course, the better it is for us. have you started progressing to? Oh, okay, right. So, we need to start thinking about moving further afield. But I also want to start thinking about making these lines a little bit freer to start running some express trains and really easing the pressure. So that's something else I want to look at doing, guys. So let's have a look at how much that will cost to start doing that. Let's keep it playing while we're doing. To be fair, the infrastructure is already kind of here, so it shouldn't cost a great deal. Let that train arrive. So what we're going to do is we're going to change that now to be freight. And then put a new rail line from there to there, and it's going to go via that line. And we want at least an express train. And we're going to run 2 trains on that. So that will just run express then between them 2. And although we're not working on the task at the moment, what we're doing here is freeing up the lines, guys. Because they should now start just constantly supplying goods. And then we're going to start looking at doing the same here. So we'll start by doing that to there. And what we don't want, of course, is we just want them to be able to fire straight through the station without any problem. And then we're going to just do we're going to let the money back up a little bit, and we're just going to do a little bit of work on the back end of what we've done here. And then we can start then really pushing over this side. It does seem a lot of work, I get that, but it's definitely going to be worth it for the way we're going to work this. And you'll see that the trains will just earn a lot more money. probably going to have to, hold on, pause this. Let's put a reserve spot here because I don't know what to put there as of yet. But I think we're going to have to put a maintenance station here as well. Didn't really want to, but we haven't got a maintenance station down here, so the train that's running between the two is just going to end up crashing constantly. Not crashing, but breaking down constantly. Let's get that its fluids up. Cool. Cool. So we're going to pause this a sec and delete that. And we're also going to delete that because we've got a nice set of lines. So what we've got here is that's going to be our freight. And then we've got our goods, our express then coming through here. And then what we'll do is we'll make sure that the trains are running properly, and then from here we've got our line then that comes from this side and in via there. And then that way we've got real structure to the tracks, and we can get express trains running. And let's get our 8 gridirons there, and then a supply tower back there. Let's get another supply tower there. Good. Right, let's press play. And let's see what we've got going on there. So they're going to stay on that line, no problem. So let's change that to freight now. And then let's put a new rail line from Mulheim via... hold on. Hold on there. So that wants that to be express now. So let's edit that to be... let's do that express on that side. So edit, that's going to run all the way down that initial line there on the next run, and then we're going to do 3 trains that go from there. Now we want to do it via this second track line here to Mulheim. And then on the way back that way. And we're going to put 3 on there, and that's going to be back to Dragon and Freight. Okay, right, so now that gives express trains, and it might only need 2 to be fair. It might need the 3, who knows? let's go. And do our next track. So we can start then moving Express up that way. Okay, we'll get rid of that one train. Good, guys. I'm feeling a little bit more positive about this now. The wood factory, how is that doing? Let's increase that to 3 trains. And then let's put a new rail line from there. And that will only take wood at a minimum of 8. Good, I'm feeling really quite positive about how this is going now. Money is rolling in really quickly. We've got goods only trains and express trains running now. Let's carry on just our express freight trains and express train line up to here. Right, so that can now edit that. 2 trains and have that as express. And then a new rail line from there via okay, a couple of freight trains, and they'll settle down properly after on the right lines. Afterwards, not a problem. Okay, cool. So that they will settle down and do the right thing after. And then we'll just finish our express line round to there. Just to finish off what we've got going on. Let's have that running on that line. And then a new rail line from there via that track Okay, so that now finishes the express line all the way, and we can then start pushing on here this side and making a decision where we're going, how we're going to run from Bochum. We want to run it as straight as possible. Unfortunately, it is going to cost us quite a bit by the looks of it. But I actually think Dortmund's up there. We should really see these lines flowing a lot better. Good, really happy with that now, guys. Let's check our warehouse. How's the beer industry doing up here? Oh, it's got plenty of beer. Right, and let's start looking at getting Dortmund now involved in the game. Once we've got this connection going here, guys, we're going to save it and head to part number 3. Like I said, unfortunately, this is a very expensive line. Dortmund, let's have a look. 943,000, unfortunately. It's going to cost us $1 million to get that connected. But we've got growth up here now, which is good. We're seeing plenty of trains arriving. How's this Express doing? Express is doing absolutely bang on. Good stuff. Right, let's get that connected. Very expensive line. At the minute we've reserved the business there, which is good because we can figure out what we need and when we need it. But for now it's let's get Dortmund connected and even possibly Kassel-Trop Ruxel. That currently has beer, which is going to benefit us as well. Now I'm debating. Let's get another line connected there too. So that we can get wood, then moving into here as well, and we want it to run. That's the one we want it to run on. Put wood in the warehouse as well. Cool. And we've got loads of wood there being produced. Great stuff. Right, so let's get this final connection made here. Unfortunately, like I said, it's cost us a good bit of money to do this, but the connection is now in place. So at Dortmund here we've got beer, and of course at Bochum we've got meat, which means we're going to start seeing we're just going to go back to the dragon for now. Movement. Now I think potentially a coking factory would be great here in Bochum. Because then that would allow us to take, because for chemicals we need oil. And there's nothing to say that we couldn't actually put copper wire up here. But we do need to see those 12 loads of coke via Dortmund now working. So I'm hoping it might be worth actually to increase that to 3 trains straight away. Right, so I think let's make another save here, guys, and we're now going to move on to part 3. So thank you very much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.